the next song on the album is Crying in that order. The song
Yeah.
that appears, which has this really kind of that weird little do 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 do, So could you talk to us a little bit about this? Because musically it stands out, I think, from the other songs as well.
So when Mort would be in Europe, in the UK or France or Spain or Germany or any place in the world, in fact, um, the publishing company would send young writers over to write with Doc so that Doc continued writing. Mort would write for half a year and then spend half a year in overseas somewhere. So one of those was a young kid from New Haven, Connecticut, an ex-shoeshine boy, really hard luck kid, named Joe Kukulis, whose real name is Silvio Martinez. His mother was Venezuelan Indian, not able to read, who somehow his father was Silvio Martinez the first. Likely a scoundrel. Joe had a touch of the mustachioed Venezuelan paramour scoundrel in it. Anyway, so they sent Joe down, and when Doc wrote a song, I would be sent over to the recording studio to do a demo of it. And Joe, who I call the Great Coca-Cola, would be the producer of those demos. So we did a thing called All for the Sake of Love that you may have heard. If not, look for it because it's a beautiful, just a studio demo, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And my favorite instrument is the human voice. And my favorite use of that instrument is background singers. So in these demo sessions, there were background singers. These are the same girls that sang on every song you ever loved on the radio. It was the same small group, and they were there, and they were singing, and I was singing for them. I love them. So you'll hear that on All for the Sake of Love. Anyway, so as time went on, Joe and I started writing some tunes also, and my relationship with Doc changed. And Doc had his own personal life issues to deal with. And I, being the only hope of my family, my mother and younger brothers, who had been grabbed by child welfare, was committed to working at the highest and most accelerated level to create product to rescue them. Incidentally, that's been the central conflict of my work. Sing the truth or make some money. And my choice has been to sing what appears to me to be the truth, hoping that, well, it can't help but make some money eventually, sooner or later. Anyway, that's been my choice and my conflict always. So Joe and I, in those days, earned our living peddling songs. You write a song, there's 6 or 7 different publishing companies. You go up and hustle them. You get $50 advance for the song. They're going to publish it. You're the writer. They need a demo sometimes. Um, and Joe, whose illiterate mother was completely dependent on him for her income. And Joe and I would do this. This was our work. And Joe just couldn't take it anymore and went back to New Haven. And I loved the Great Kukulas. And so I traveled up to New Haven, and we found a bar that had a piano in it, because Joe didn't have a piano at home. And Joe had a new melody, and we found this piano, and the new melody would become Crying. And so we wrote Crying, for the most part, in the corner of a bar in New Haven on a borrowed piano, hoping to create enough momentum to get Kukulas back down to New York and back on track. And it's kind of appropriate that it follows Nickels and Dimes. Nickels and Dimes was about an awakening. An awakening stimulated by love. Crying is what happens to men and women when they let go of many of their protective emotional devices and life skills. We had life skills then, and I still do, that are very, very, very well, were very well defended, in other words. And we learn over time that life skills that are appropriate to yourself as the poorest white kid you've ever seen or known, and the only white kid in an all Afro-Caribbean school system. What is appropriate defense then is not an appropriate defense as a young grown-up. And then as a look, I'm looking forward to becoming an adult at some point. Haven't done so yet, but I'm inexorably moving in that direction. Anyway, so Crying was about the breakthrough that experiencing emotion